If you weren't aware, last week there was a mass shooting. Why didn't we hear about it though? Well, we're gonna go into a little bit of a premise here first. I'm gonna set you up the premise, but we're gonna be talking about not just the idea of mass shootings, because we all know gun violence is very prominent. Both sides, the left and the right, have different solutions on how to solve it. The left proposes that we increase gun control laws. In some cases, even taking away all guns, like Beto O'Rourke, a former presidential nominee, not nominee but contender for the Democratic nomination. Some suggest that we should make all guns illegal, assuming that everyone will follow the law because we all know criminals like to follow the law in the first place. Others, the right says we need to arm more people because logically, if a criminal is going to shoot up a place, they're going to think about it twice if they know that every person in that building is armed. Now, whether which side you want to be on, maybe on the left, on the right, in the middle, that's not the issue here. Well, somewhat. It is somewhat. But the topic we're going to talk about in this video is how the mainstream media ignores tragedies if it doesn't fit their narrative. For example, let's go to the tragedy of Texas where there was a mass shooting in a Walmart. Why did we hear about this for days from the mainstream media? Three reasons. One, it was in Texas. Texas isn't a gun-free state. It's actually a lot easier to own a gun in Texas than compared to Chicago, which actually has a lot more stricter gun laws. And yet, Chicago has has a higher gun crime rate than in states like Texas, probably. But the point is, Chicago is known for their gun violence, and yet for some reason, they have, and for some reason, they have gun control laws over there. How is it that a city like Chicago manages to have a higher has managed to have high crimes in regards to guns when they're supposed to be illegal or they're supposed to be harder to get? Maybe one suggestion: criminals don't follow the law. And again, the first reason why we heard about the whole Walmart tragedy shooting in Texas was one, because it's in Texas. Texas doesn't believe in gun-free zones, so that's why the media went after it in the first place. Second reason, the shooter was a white male, and we all know that the media loves to talk about white males every day and night because they want to connect it to Donald Trump and say that Donald Trump is promoting white supremacy and is pandering to members of the KKK and the neo-Nazis and yada yada yada. Now, that's sarcasm, of course. I do not believe that President Donald Trump is a white supremacist or a Nazi. I really don't. And that's coming from a Hispanic, Mexican, to be more specific. But again, it's sarcasm. So if you're a conservative or a Trump supporter watching this and you hear me say that, that the media believes Donald Trump is a white supremacist, it's sarcasm. Okay? It's sarcasm in the sense that I do not believe that the president is a white supremacist. But again, that's the second reason why. It's a white male. Third reason, it's a lot easier to connect this to Donald Trump, similar to the second one. Why? When you have a white male shooting up a place and killing innocent people, what are the first thing that the Democrats and the mainstream media like to do? Blame it on the president. How can we blame this on the president? So why didn't we hear about this tragedy in Chicago that took place last week? Why didn't we hear about this the day of? Why didn't CNN or Fox News? I think they talked about it, but why wasn't CNN or MSNBC or NBC or ABC News? Why weren't they talking about this tragedy that took place last week, especially the day of the tragedy? I'll tell you why. It didn't fit their narrative. Now, if you aren't aware, the suspect was a black male. We all know that black people are not capable of doing anything bad. We all know minorities in general are incapable of doing anything bad. Only white people are capable of doing evil things. Sarcasm, by the way. Even as a Hispanic, if you want to play the race card and if you're watching this video saying, oh, Carlos is being racist by targeting the African American community. No, I'm not. And here's why. Me as a Hispanic, even I recognize that my own race has its share of bad people. Does that mean that all Hispanics are bad? No. Does that mean just because there's one black shooter, does that mean that all African Americans are bad? No. Because there's a one white male who shoots up a place, does that mean all white people are bad? No. The point is, you can't make a generalization. But the media likes to do it. Only to the white people, though, not the African Americans. Because if you generalize a community that's a minority community, they will come after you and they will hang you. But we didn't hear about this. Again, one reason. First reason, this is a black male. Second, it took place in a liberal city, a very, very liberal city, which has gun control laws. You can't talk about this story and push for gun control, considering that Chicago already has gun control laws. So again, that's the second reason it didn't fit the narrative. And three, You couldn't connect this to Donald Trump because the media wants us to believe that Donald Trump only talks to and panders to white supremacists. And we all know black people and minorities cannot be racist. Only white people can be racist. And again, sarcasm if you are listening to this and get offended. But let's see what's the current status of the individual. Now, this is from the 23rd. This is from like over 6 days ago. And if you wish to see, this is the suspect that created such a tragedy, who killed 13 people, not killed, sorry, injured 13 people. This individual right here, clearly he's not a white supremacist. Clearly he doesn't look like a Trump supporter, and clearly he doesn't live like a red state where gun laws are non-existent, right? When it's a lot easier to get a gun. No, clearly, this guy looks from like the Chicago area, which he is. It's been confirmed. And clearly, this guy is African American. Clearly, doesn't look like he's white. And if he's mixed race, I'm pretty sure the media would have said, well, technically, he's 51% white. Therefore, he is a white supremacist. But we all know they're not going to go for that. But let's see what took place on the 23rd in regards to the bail. The title reads, and the article's from the Daily Herald. Bail set for Chicago man arrested in connection to shooting. Bail was set at $300,000 on Monday for a man facing gun charges in connection with a weekend house party shooting in Chicago that left 13 wounded, though tests that could potentially tie him directly to the shooting haven't been completed. Marciano White, 37, is charged with the possession of a firearm by a felon and as an armed habitual criminal after police stopped him as he carried a bag near the house in the city's Englewood neighborhood. In it, they found a .357 caliber pistol, a prosecutor told a Monday bond hearing. The Chicago Sun-Times cited public defender Scott Finger as saying at the hearing that there is no evidence to date that White shot anyone, noting his client's two prior convictions were for non-violent offenses. I haven't heard any eyewitnesses that says he's the one that did the shooting, he said. Probably because the witnesses who were there are in the hospital. I think they still are. Again, this is like a 6 day old article. An assistant state's Cook County State's Attorney James Murphy told the Monday hearing that tests on the gun would help determine if it was used in the early Sunday shooting. According to prosecutors, White had said that he was at a party, but he insisted that he had hid it in a closet when the shooting began. He also said he saw the gun on a staircase and picked it up as he fled. Why would you pick up a gun while you're fleeing? That's one thing that's really odd. But again, I'm not a prosecutor, so I'm not there to judge. Again, apparently this is still a suspect. Okay, so we're not really sure if this guy really is guilty. Again, I'm not really sure you guys could up to me on that. Again, 6 days. A lot can happen in 6 days. Finger told Monday's bond hearing that White's family had raised $5,000, which is short of the $30,000 required to secure his release pending trial. The shooting stemmed from a dispute at what was a memorial party, police have said. Shots were first fired just about 12:30 a.m. at the party, which is being held in honor of someone killed in April. Wow. So, and again, that's really tragic, ironic and tragic. You're honoring someone who was killed in April, and then someone shoots up a place where you're supposed to be honoring someone who died. Ironic but tragic. And again, it kind of goes to show you that this is what happens. Personally, my opinion, of course, this is my opinion in this case, not fact. But this is why I do not believe in gun control laws, because law-abiding citizens will follow them. Criminals, they won't. Criminals are gonna go own guns regardless. So why take away guns from law-abiding citizens? That's what doesn't make sense to me. The victims range in age from 16 to 48. Police have said that someone appeared to be shooting randomly at people. Police described 3 different shooting scenes at the residential location in the city's Englewood neighborhood, a predominantly low-income stretch of a city roughly 10 miles, 16 kilometers southwest of downtown that has high crime. The shooting started inside, then more shots were fired as people began spilling out of the house. Shots were also fired at a third place nearby. And that concludes the article. So, overall, whether or not you want to believe this man is innocent, that's up to you. I don't know if he is or isn't. If he is, again, we didn't hear about it. Why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative of the mainstream media. How long did we hear about the Walmart shooting in Texas? For like a week, maybe a week and a half. The mainstream media, especially people like organizations like CNN and MSNBC, they couldn't stop talking about it. Why? Again, we'll go with those 3 reasons. One, it took place in an area, in this case a state, where they don't have gun control laws. 2, the suspect, in this case, the criminal who was part of the shooting, was a white male. And 3, it was an easy way to connect this to Donald Trump. In this case, these three conditions were not met. Why? Chicago is a gun control city. It's supposed to be like a gun-free zone. They have really strict gun laws over there. So you can't push gun control in a city that already has gun control laws. That's why the mainstream media didn't talk about this, and that's why they haven't talked about it since then. Two, the suspect is black, not white. Therefore, it cannot push a narrative that's saying that white men are trying to take back America and put every minority as a second class citizen. And third, you can't connect it to Donald Trump because we all know, as everyone knows, black people and minorities cannot be racist. Only white people can be racist. And again, sarcasm. Okay, if you still can't understand sarcasm, I feel sorry for you. But no, I do believe that yeah, every race can be racist. You can be racist towards white people. You can be racist towards black people. Black people can be racist. Hispanics can be racist. Everyone can be racist. But we all know in the mainstream media's world, only white people can be racist. Minorities, they cannot. But again, let me know what you guys think about this. Are you guys surprised that we didn't hear about this? If you heard about this, were you outraged that the mainstream media wasn't talking about this? If you just heard about this today, what do you guys think about this? Are you guys surprised that you guys never heard about it from CNN or MSNBC? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the notifications button as well. And I also do recommend you bookmark the page because sometimes you won't be notified properly. So I recommend you just bookmark the page and then check on it on a daily basis. But again, if you think this video is worthy of sharing, if you didn't know about this and you want more people to know about this, feel free to share this video because I think it's very important that we start bringing out all this gun crime, all these mass shootings that take place in areas that supposedly take place in gun control laws, areas that supposedly are supposed to be a lot more safer for people instead of more dangerous, right? But again, share this video. That really does help out a lot. It helps me reach newer viewers and not rely on YouTube to prop me up, which we all know they won't. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time.